can't get the CC off because he's just, unless if you take it off just before you jump in. Talk about jumping in.
Yeah, nice engage down into Crystal. He's going to have to jump away here. Turns around onto Yoon, and Fury also took a bunch of damage, so it's not too bad. What was that in terms of summoners? It was an Ignite for a Exhaust, it looks like, from Hootie.
Yeah, and it's not too bad for Crystal, even though he took a lot of damage and all of that. He has Doran Shield, so he's going to be able to heal up just a little bit more with the Potion Doran Shield. It's actually Fury that took a lot of damage back, and he doesn't have much of an ability to regen it just unless if he utilizes his Doran's Blade, the lifesteal off that. So it's going to be a lot of them just trying to regen and hopefully not get pressured by jungle. I wonder if SOFM is going for Krugs or if he's going for this life.
Probably both.
I think this man is only invested in Krugs. He is in the Church of Krugs. Oh, but if they walk to him.
Spotting him out. Yeah, he's going to jump right on top of Yoon.
And then back to the Krugs.
Yeah, classic SOFM.
Yeah.
I know you see me, but I'm still going to take your Krugs.
I love the Church of Krugs. You know, if there's one church you're going to join, it's this. You get gold back. You get so much experience, life experience. You get so much off of it. Now, Zach has to answer, but it's going to take him a long time to get the Krugs himself. A long time for him to be a believer. Just kidding. He's bursting right through it.
Yeah, JK. Zach's clear speed is still nutty.
But with that ward being placed down, because Flandre was told, I'm going to be, you know, I'm taking Krugs. Please place that ward down. So if Zach goes there, I see him doing it, and I can continue pushing forward.
Hacker's going to jump away with that insane jump range. Finally just not get the stop. Oh, Flandre, hello?
What are you doing?
Hello,
Are
Flandre.
you looking somewhere?
Flandre.
Your eyes down, no. My eyes are right here.
Well, Flandre actually just walked into Chow out and lost all of his HP. So now he has to go back to base. SOFM getting caught out by Hacker. He wants to jump on Fen, but he's taunted up on top of that. So Tai moves into this fight, but what's he really got to offer? Colossal smash for the kill, and Fen, what do you say about me? I'm going to come for you as well. Hacker zoning away Zatai. First blood over to Suning.
Yeah, that's a lot of CC that was just piling on top of him. I actually think there was a little bit of time in which SOFM stood there himself. He was in CC lockdown, and he had the ability to use his W to just kind of shrug it off and walk away. But he was invested in that potential fight with Malzahar coming over. So it's just like it's a small thing that happened, but ultimately it was a good pick off by Fen and Hacker.
That was really nice. Catching out SOFM in the early game as well, because I feel like the early game is so important for SOFM more than any other jungler, because it's like, it sets him up for the entire game and how you expect him to play. It's like if he gets the momentum, he just keeps on rolling and he comes at you like the Juggernaut, but if you stop him in the early game, he completely kind of stalls out.
Exactly. His #1 priority is in experience, if he can get the jungle experience, but of course he has double longsword. If he can get that kill, he's going to be, if he gets it, then he can look to really snowball off that. But as you mentioned, without that, you might actually be able to win out that jungle matchup. And the definition of winning, Hacker, is just be able to survive the early levels and look for a gank. Speaking of surviving.
Yeah, so Tai having to respect Fen, even though he didn't have a lot of mana, but he had enough for that one combo that could have killed him.
Yeah.
Got a lot of CS denied there. That was like a good wave and a bit.
Yeah, you have to respect that damage, especially since Galio's passive auto attack is a little bit too much to deal with. So it was a good call from Zatai, but ultimately it's a call he made just based off of that skirmish that he unfortunately took.
It is insane how much distance Zach can clear. My god. He's been nerfed again, I believe, in the next patch, but he's been nerfed multiple times.
Yeah.
He's still just good.
Yeah. At least this time, like the nerfs I would be interested in are nerfs to his Q range. That would be nice. Just find a way to force Zach to have to really invest in hitting someone with his E. The E knockup, if you get that, then you should have a successful gank. If you don't get that, then you shouldn't have a successful gank, or at least that should be limited. But they're hitting his sustain in his jungle clear, the damage on his W, which I think that's fair, because with Bami Sunders getting buffed, you want him to not have a nutty clear. But also I just feel like hitting his numbers makes him a sad Zach. Hitting his kit, I think it's a fair way to go.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense in that one. But I'm looking towards the lanes how they are right now, and Suning have a pretty hefty advantage in top lane and mid lane. Fen's winning that one out as Galio, I might add. And we were talking in Champion Select, and we was like, well, how's this matchup going to work out? Raz, well, you know, Malzahar's going to click his E button, and he's going to click his W button. and then FenFen's going to farm onto tower for the rest of eternity. But that's not really how it's worked out since that pressure has been there from Hacker.
That's true. It should happen. Like that's pressure that can constantly come out, even though he's coming out with CS deficits. Ultimately, that pressure should still remain. But it's still good for FenFen that he's coming out of these trades actually clearly ahead. And what that means, like FenFen's whole focus this game should actually just be in looking for these dives. I like the fact that he's roaming upwards to be able to clear vision, because if he can work with the Zac to get those top lane dives onto Cho'Gath, or maybe even bottom lane dives, either way, that's a proactive play you can make with Galio. And I like the fact that he's able to deal with this mid lane pressure to do just that.
Yep, so Ty at least gets the push off on this one. So he's starting to stabilize at the very least, which is pretty good. Top lane's getting worse and worse. We haven't seen it in a while. I want to see what's going on in that lane, because that's, what, 20 CS advance. Okay, there's a mini wave resolving, so it's about 3 waves still. But that's a lot into Vlandre.
Yeah.
I don't know what's been going on up there.
Rumble into Cho'Gath is usually pretty good for Rumble. I mean, Rumble just has so many strong lanes. I know there are a few teams right now that just really, really prioritize Rumble. Like, have so much value towards it. Snake was one of them. And a lot of it was just based off the fact that you just push in the lane, even if it's like Camille or Jarvan, where you're just going to have a tough time in 1v1s. It's just about the early laning phase, first 10 minutes, where you just shove in constantly, and you force Vlandre or whatever top laner to just sit under turret and farm. And you let your own jungler, if it's a farming jungler like a Kayn or Rek'Sai, then you can get an invade topside. Or if it's like a Zac, you can just get a free ticket to the mid game. You get to see that free ticket made. Hacker's doing a great job in keeping up in CS. Not only just because of that pick onto SOFM, but also just because of how his lanes are actually picking up the pace for him.
It's always like how much are you giving away as well in the early game, because we've seen a lot of drafts recently in the LPL, but it's just like, we're going to draft 3 losing lanes, and what's that? We just lost the game. Yeah. It's like, at least draft 1 winning lane, all right? And that's what Snake have kind of done here. Like, they had the bottom lane, Crystal's doing really well with Hootie. And it's ahead in that one. It's not like they just have triple losing lanes.
That's true. I actually, like, throughout the entire series here, I love the pick bans from both teams. They had very clear goals set in mind. Just very well thought out. You get teams like OMG, like in the last set we saw. Yeah, sure, they still won the game, but those pick bans were god-awful. So thank God we get to be blessed by this.
And this is good. I appreciate this.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized a thing, and that's that FenFen's console smash is incredibly good
into Voidlings.
That's
true. They come at him. If he has the passive up, he just knocks down the ground.
That actually might be swaying that matchup.
That's
the
true.
more I think about it.
At the very least, if the Voidling cooldown comes up pretty often. Yep. Passive on Galio, not so much. So if he can keep the pressure up,
still pretty often if you're hitting spells.
Well, if you're hitting spells, yes. That's still an if, and it's not going to happen.
Seems to be happening in this lane, Raz. Explain that.
Look at this. That's a wave advantage for Malzahn.
No, it's not. Look at the CS numbers.
I'm not talking about the CS numbers, all right? I'm talking about the fact that he had pressure there with the cannon minion. He's losing hard in the CS numbers, but I'm just telling you right now, in the pressure game, it's there.
Has the pressure game turned into anything, Raz?
Not in the early 10 minutes. It hasn't. I'll give you that. But now, the pressure's on.
I'm just seeing it from Hacker right now more than anything.
Yeah, speaking about the pressure, Zac wants this pressure. And Galio should have the free ticket to come top.
He might dive this.
Yeah, yes.
Galio give it a shot. Flandre instantly going to flash away.
Flandre has to walk away from this. He can't stick under turret. Galio has pressure mid lane. He can actually roam up for a Galio ulti. Now, he doesn't have the wave, but the next wave's coming up pretty soon, so Zac doesn't have to completely walk away.
Here comes the tie. Just kidding. Let's go for the minion wave. Yeah, top lane, I was expecting a potential dive. FenFen turning it around back onto SOFM. It's like, yeah, nice gank.
That's funny.
I know the tie's going to go for the mini wave.
There are a few people in Halloween that if you catch them by surprise, they scream, they run away. This man punches a person when he gets caught off surprise. He just jumps right in.
People have done that before. I've seen a lot of Halloween videos where
I've seen that.
People have jumped out of like trash cans and it's just like
punch. It's a very weird reaction.
It's always a risk as well. If you're making like a YouTube video, you're coming up with a prank, and then sometimes what happens, that's someone's natural response is just to toss out a right hook.
Yeah. Animalistic instinct.
And then you've got a bloody nose.
I That's why if you go up to a bear, you don't try and surprise a bear. You don't do that. The bear's gonna swipe at you.
Nope.
Right.
What's the animal that you have to like punch in the nose to dissuade? It's a shark, right? You punch the shark in the nose and then it freaks out or something.
I feel like that's
Don't
something.
try it on a bear.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, I feel like you shouldn't try it on a shark either. Even though people are gonna be able to say, yeah, you know what? The shark will run away. That's what the shark will do. That's your life. You punch that shark in the face. That's the last thing you see. Is it getting angry at you?
Yeah, well, hold on, Raz. Like, what else would you do in that situation? Like, shark's coming at you. You've got one chance, one opportunity, and you're like, well, screw it.
You communicate with it. You act like a shark brother itself. Just a very deformed
Is that what
shark.
you would do in that moment? In the moment of panic and the shark's coming towards you, you're alone in the water, and you'd be like, good day, shark.
You can't swim away from the shark, Pulse.
Well, yeah, so what do? You go on the offensive.
Maybe try and ride it.
Try and ride the shark.
Try and
become
ride the
its
shark.
master.
Tame the shark. It can't eat its back. It's a shark.
It's true, actually. Yeah, it's not like it has a neck that it can turn around with. So
Doesn't have arms. If it does, then you have some problems.
yeah, catch that fin. I think we may have just figured out how to survive against the shark attack right
there
here.
you go. You ride that damn shark.
Yep. Excellent. Don't do that in real life. You'll get eaten. But
Yep. If you're in a pool with a shark, you know what? No explanation, no advice will help you. All right. Just remember that. You're in that pool with that shark. You're dead.
I'm still giving the shot, man. Like, if I'm in that situation, I'm going to punch it on the nose.
All right.
And that's what, to go back to the original point,
Oh.
Fen did. Hacker, well, he burnt the flash. Good job, Hacker.
Okay.
You get a thumbs up from me. You see how deep we can go?
We
like,
can go deep.
Fen red punches SWFM, and we went right down the rabbit hole, Raz.
That's a scary power we have.
Yep. It's a skill. Not sure if it's a good one, but it's definitely a skill.
Yeah, it's definitely something.
It's been 14 minutes, and these two teams have been playing Farmville.
Ooh.
Oh, ultimate from Satai, and the minions are going ham as well, plus the Voidlings. SWFM gonna try and get this kill off. Also with the lockdown, Fen, he's tanking so much damage.
Voidlings!
No. Okay, he got away.
That's 50 HP.
There was definitely some butt clenching going on right there. The Hacker having a good time. He gets to the mid lane. All this farm goes over to him.
And so ultimately, that's the gameplay right there. That's what you should be expecting with the Malzahar, Rengar, and hopefully once the laning phase is over in the bot side of the map, Crystal can have at it with his own ulti.
They also just dropped everything on him. They dropped the payload,
Yes.
and what happened? Fen walked away, and now he's picked up a Abyssal Mass. So
Well, he
now
had
it's
it
just
before. He had it before, thankfully.
okay, all right,
So
that's fine then.
Yeah,
I'll give
him
you a
that.
free pass
Exactly.
on that.
So that. But the thing is, the damage is still going to be coming through from Zatai. Zatai should be going towards a Leandri's Torment himself. So once he just keeps getting more damage, a lot of that play will still, it will keep happening. Now, honestly, it should not happen on Fen because he's a Galio. So he's probably going to be able to get out of there, especially once the team starts coming in to help him out. But it should happen on Fury, Yoon, even Hacker. There are actually a lot of options for Okay, actually, speaking of that.
Hacker getting the gank off. Oh, Fen ready to follow up as well, and somehow gets knocked up on the outside of the radius, but Yoon's here, making sure that this kill will happen. Feast comes off onto Xiao Ao, and really that was just a pipe dream. 5 people in his lane.
How did that knock-up happen, Pulse?
I don't know. I've seen people near the epicenter and not getting knocked up, and that one knocked him up, and he was like 6 screens away. So I'm feeling pretty salty, Van Flandre,
Yep.
but I was still pretty dead because there were 5 people there.
Yeah, but you can't. For every second in which you're salty is a second in which you're not telling your team what to do while you're dead. He's probably already typing down what flashes went through, telling his team, push mid, take dragon, dragon's up, please. The solo queue training that you've had all your life has amounted to this. 4 people in my lane, please do something.
5 people in my lane. Take
Please.
anything.
Anything, please.
And what did Snake do? Well, they pushed him mid, didn't get the tower. They pushed him bot, didn't get the tower. And they've gone to the dragon and will probably get this one. However, Suning will trade with a Rift Herald on the top side.
All right, so that's a trade deal in which you just don't want to be a part of, but at least they got a trade deal. At the very least, it's got that dragon. It should be this tower itself, but the problem is with, yeah, sure, they get the tower and the dragon, but they took a little bit of time. Crystal wants to push this extra wave so he can back and have the peace of mind of this lane getting bounced back. Problem is, he's going to be really slow in basing. Once he is, usually what that means is that Suning Gaming will have that extra bit of time to set up for their next play. Their next play, they're already putting Fury into the mid lane, so you'd have to think that Crystal now has to book it towards the mid lane. We'll have to see, but that time frame in which Suning Gaming were able to get the objective of Tower and Rift Herald and still be on the map at a much faster pace usually amounts to something.
At the same time, Snake did pick a tower in the bottom lane, so it did go better for them in the end, though it was a big minion were going to Fury. I'm looking towards this Rift Herald and seeing how much value their Suning can get off of it. I'm seeing like kind of staggered recalls coming in from Snake at this point in time, so there's a possibility they could open up in mid lane. Yeah, if there's a high recall there, he was losing mid tower, so I'm glad he cancelled.
Yeah,
but no one's helping him.
I wonder how much gold he has in his box.
And this will happen. So I'm literally looking at the map right now from Snake and I'm being like, why isn't anybody mid lane?
Yep. And that's what you get. Suning Gaming had proper back timings on both bottom lane, mid lane. They were ready to just pretty much set up on the map. Snake did not. Crystal was topside setting up for a future play. Wait a minute.
In comes Herald, pops the guy ultimate as well, and you're going to go flying into the air, Flandre, and back down 6 feet under. Hoodie gets pulled in with the taunt, jumps away to Crystal, but the tower's already dead in the mid lane, and Suning may look for a second push as Herald is charging up.
There we go. They could probably look for it.
Fen zoning and another minion wave coming in after that. Double tower pickup from Suning. Optimal.
I'm surprised they just stopped right there for it, because that Rift Herald still had a bit of life 8 on it. But Suning are a patient team. They want to be on the map once again, so they're channeling their backs at the same time as Snake coming back onto the map so they don't lose too much vision that they already had on the field.
And that was the question though, Raz, wasn't it? For Suning, how much are they going to get off this Herald? Because that will be the extra tempo they can get back off that bottom tower being lost. And 2 mid lane towers, I'm going to say that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. And it's only going to get better for Suning because they're scaling up. Right now, Fury, he did that all while he still had Essence Reaver, which is usually the weakest part of your build, just getting that first item, Essence Reaver. But once he's able to come back onto the field with a Static Shiv or Rapid Fire Cannon, one of those two, now that he has the Kerche's Shard, is it?
I have no idea how to pronounce that name, so I've never tried.
Well, thankfully, I took the bullet for you.
You did.
So once he builds an attack speed item, it gets much better for him. You'd have to think it's Static Shift so he can actually help out the team in wave clear. And then he gets the third item, which is usually IE, and then suddenly you're fighting against a Feather Throwing, Crit Having, AD carry. Does a lot of damage.
I have to assume that item is named after somebody.
Kerche?
Yeah, because usually a lot of these items are. Like, for example, Maud Malmortius. Do you know the origins of Maud Malmortius?
No, I do not.
Malmortius was a Poppy 1 trick from Season 1 or 2. And all he played was Poppy. He was like a gold player. Back then, that was like a platinum, diamond type player. And yeah, they made the item, and it was named after Malmortius.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I know the Morello's one is an easy one.
Yeah.
There's a few more.
But you know what? I actually wondered how many people, because like I often see on Reddit nowadays, it's like, did you know the meaning of this? And I'm just like, all of these things are so obvious to us because we've been here since Season 1, so we're just like, yeah, we know all the references to everything. But it's like a lot of people joined in like Season 3, Season 4, even like Season 7, don't know the history of like any of these things.
That's true. That's actually pretty scary, especially for me. That like I put in, let's say, so many normal games actually. I like actually disastrously so many normal games. And of course, the game will tell you, or at least everybody in your party, at least in the old client, how many games you played. And, and you get these people with like 200 normal game wins or 100, and you're like, wow, you play that much? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It just stacks up from when I first started playing in Season 2. So, yeah, that's always fun to see. Yeah, you get a lot of new players. They don't get that reference, which is fun.
Yeah.
They also just judge you.
Exactly. You know, I was looking at patch notes and it was Irelia buffs, and I was just like, looked at the comments and there's no better nerf Irelia memes. I'm like, what happened?
That is a dead horse, but you're right. People probably just don't know the meme to start.
Yeah.
It's a rapid fire cannon. Sadness. I would have liked the Static Shiv. But you're right about that.
Makes me sad.
Yes.
All these whippersnappers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know the good old days.
You gotta teach them a lesson.
Shotgun mid lane Ashe, which he'd walk up to, hit you with all 7 arrows, and you just insta-die. Or Twisted Fate, who had the same. And
even
also his ultimate being like his E ability.
I was about to say, even I wasn't around when Twisted Fate was able to head across the map for free. I was not, wasn't there.
Like a 20-second cooldown.
And when the actual Summoner's Rift map looked like an absolute like polygon, every single thing on the map was just a box.
Yeah, you could count the number of pixels on your 2 hands.
Yep.
Oh, hacker. Okay, we're all good. It's fine. I'm not sure if he... Did he actually see... well, he sees them now.
Yeah,
he'll see Snake turn in the corner.
Okay, he just goes right at him.
Yeah, he's going to try and slam someone to get it, but couldn't get in range for the auto attack. Now he can pull up against the ward. I'll hit you even if it kills me, in which it probably will. In comes the Galio. Everybody gets knocked up from Snake and Fen as well. Nobody can deal with this Galio. He literally hasn't taken any damage as they blow up Flandre. Fury chasing after SOFM. Crystal stepping forward. Could be a mistake. Oh! In comes Xiao Ao. Another taunt from Fen. This man is on fire. As SOFM will jump in and jump back out, realizing that was a grave error he just made. Another kill to Suning, and that's sieging the mid lane, Raz.
You're starting to see why Snake should be afraid of Suning Gaming's composition. Hacker face plants into the wall, and he still gets so much off of it because Fen gets a massive knockup.
Oh, dragged in, hit against the tower. That should be illegal. Hacker demolishes the AD carry and takes the mid lane inner turret. And the inhib with the tower and the inhib.
And you have to wonder if this is going to be the end of it, because even if they don't take this inhib, they might just re-engage for another fight.
Flandre stepping forward, you better know it. In comes SOFM from the side. He has no flash, remember, from the last fight. Fen just wants to walk up and hit the tower. Someone needs to finish it off, though.
Here's the thing. Hacker has Warmog, so he can actually just stay still, regen up, and then rejoin the fight.
Zatai catching out Rumble, takes him out, and Fury turns around. He's gone real deep, flashes away with the Feather Storm, and Flandre will eat that AD carry. Mid-inhib didn't die, Raz.
It did not. And you know what? With Xiao Ao and Fury down for 30 seconds, you have to believe that Snake has to be quick about this because Baron is up and available. But here's how this all started. Hacker tries to get the knock into each other. Didn't happen. He actually gets locked down and isolated. But this Galio ulti is some kind of crazy. I actually don't understand how it knocks up 3 people, but it does anyways. And you get to see Fen play defense, deal with 4 people at one time. And so immediately members go down one after another. But it's going to be Snake that start up on this Baron.
I've seen this one before, Raz, and honestly, Snake plus Baron does not equal good things usually. Fen's going to get into a pit, and this is going to be the biggest taunt of the century. Turning it onto the Baron. SOFM secures it, but at what cost? They lose the mid laner, they lose the AD carry. Flandre is locked in as well, and SOFM, yes, he takes one with him, but it was the Zac, and he's gone down into the passive. Fen with the taunt, 4 kills for 0, triple kill for Xiao Ao, but the Baron to Snake.
Yeah, so you have to wonder what Suning Gaming get off of this. The inhib is open, so they should be able to get it, but do they get more? Because if they don't, Hoodie still has Baron, so he should be able to help Snake when they all get back up and look to recoup the gold that they lost.
10-2 now, Raz. 5,000 gold advantage to Suning, and they'll come back and finish the job that they started, finally. That must have been on sub 10 HP. I think Suning honestly thought it'd fallen at that point, but they'll get it in the end. Down goes the inhib in the mid lane, pushing the top lane from Fen, shoving in this wave. Next dragon's also up for them, and everything is going Suning's way as we take a look at this replay one more time.
You have to believe it's a sigh of relief for SOFM to be able to get the smite off this. He's lost so many Barons before, he didn't want to lose that one. But at a major cost, because the rest of Snake, except for Hoodie, sneaks out of there, the rest of them dead. So the fact that they still have Baron is at least something, but you have to wonder what it turns into, because that was a major gold swing in favor of Suning.
Yeah, plus you get the Mountain Dragon on top of that. Suning are in such a good situation right now off what looked like an almost blundered play in the mid lane. And Snake doubled down, they went towards the Baron. And yes, SOFM secured the smite, but the play itself was flawed. It was fundamentally flawed in this one, Raz. Yeah. We see this all the time from Snake. Like, Baron is the bane of their existence.
And so here's the real question. Like, do we even see an opening for Snake in these team fights? Because off of that fumble, sure, they get something off of it. But right now, Fen and Hacker are both just about to get their Gargoyle Stoneplate if the game doesn't end up until that point. And they were already winning team fights handily up until then. So, Suning Gaming, they're at a major power spike for themselves, especially with Xiao Ao hitting those major 3 items, Void Staff, Leandri's Torment, and Zhonya's Hourglass. So right now, Suning Gaming want to be able to get a fight going.
I want to take a second actually just to compliment Fen. I'm sure another fight is going to open up in the second, Raz, but we might have to hold that thought. Yeah, she's looking for the flank here. The rest of Snake will back away. But, you know, Fen, we criticized him in the early game. It's just like, is this guy actually best for the team, you know, compared to DN? He came in game 2. And Fen, yes, we've seen his casting games. He draws the respect from teams now. They always have to target ban him against him. And then what other games we've seen from him? But today has not been so hot, but now he's performing on the Galio as well. Like, he's expanding a champion pool, and Yoon will get the biggest charge in with the ultimate. Everybody goes flying from Snake, and then just multiple casualties. Another double kill to Xiao Ao. S2FM, where are you going? Because you've just lost your entire team.
Yeah, for him, it's probably all hope lost. You have to believe he's just trying to play the minion game as he usually does up until this point, to try anything to stop the push coming in. But this is such a massive wave with Suning Gaming that even he can't do much about that. 2 members up and none of them do damage. You have to believe Suning Gaming have this.
Suning Gaming ramming it down the mid lane. This is just the definition of an open mid right now. Whereas S2FM, he recalls back to base. Hootie, he just still have the Baron buff. That's not going to stop the assault from Suning Gaming. 4 seconds left on Crystal, 10 seconds left into tie, and Suning Gaming are looking for the game right now. S2FM behind, trying to get them off of this one. Hootie looking for the CC. I'm not sure they can do it because everyone from Suning Gaming are wailing down on the Nexus. It's going to be close. Just kidding. Suning Gaming take the